Water plant.
Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro Premamritam Bonidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priyo Priyakaro Nirmasaro Pujito Shri Chaitanya Kripavaro Bhuvibuva Bharavahantarako Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako Nana Shastra Vicharanaik Nipuno Sadharma Samstapako Shastra Vicharanaik Nipuno Sadharma Samstapako Lokanamitakarindo Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro Hitakarindo Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Mataliko Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Mataliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako Shri Gauranga Gunarnavarnanavida Shraddha Samridhyanvito Papotapa Nikrintano Tanubritam Govinda Ganamrita Anandam Buddhi Vardanaika Nipuno Kaivalya Nishtarako Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako Tyaktva Turnama Sheshamandalapati Shreni sada tuchava. Bhutvanina Ganesha ko karunaya kaupina kantashrito. Gopi Bhavara Samrata Vilahari Kalola Magno Muhu. Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako. Tujat Kokila Hamsa Sarasagana Kine Mayurakule. Nana Ratna Nibada Mula Vitapa Shri Yukta Vrindavane. Radha Krishna Maharnisham Prabhajato Jivata Doyo Muda. Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako. Sankhya Purvaka Namagana Nativi Kalola Magno Muhu. Sankhya Purvaka Sankhya Purvaka Namagana Nativi Kalavasani Krito. Nidrahara Vihara Kari Vijato Chatyanga Dino Chayo. Radha Krishna Gunasmriter Madhurima Nandena Sammohito. Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyako Shri Jiva Gopalako Radha Kunda Tate Kalindi Tanaya Tire Chavam Shivate Premod Madhava Grasto Pramato Gayanto Chakaraharir Gunavaram Baba Vibhuto Mura Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyako Shri Jiva Gopalako Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyako Shri Jiva Gopalako He Radhe Vraj Devaki Chalalite Hey Nanda Suno Kutaha Radhe Vraja Devake Chalavite Shri Govardhana Kalpa Patale Kalindi Vanye Kutaha Goshanta Viti Sarvato Vrajapure Kedar Mahavivalo Rupa Sanatano Raghuyako Shri Jiva Gopalako Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyako Shri Jiva Gopalako Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Bol! Jai Mai Pradam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Puja, get the kartals, quick. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jai Jaya. Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jai Jaya. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Hey, Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jai Jaya. Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jai Jaya. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Go Premanande, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki, Shri Harinam Mantra ki, Shri Harinam Prabhu ki. Go Premanande, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Radha Krishna Bol Bol, Bolo Re Shobhai. Radha Krishna Bol Bol, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Bol Bol, Bolo Re Shobhai. Shika diya, shabna diya, preche neche gornitaye, shika diya. Gonna go back down again, too high. Too high. Shika diya, shabna diya, preche neche gornitaye, shabna diya. Shishi Nitai and Gauranga, walking down the streets of Nadia. Krishna appears in this world to deliver the fallen souls. He comes from time to time. Anyone who sees him or hears his divine instructions is delivered. But Nitai and Gauranga, who are Krishna and Balaram, appear in the Kali Yuga age, and they actually chase after the conditioned souls. Karabhajana Muni says that Mahaprabhu, out of special mercy, follows the conditioned souls to give them special mercy, a divine dispensation in the age of Kali, that everyone can go back home, back to Godhead, very easily, simply by taking shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. Hari Bol, Bolo Re Shikariya. Hari Bol, Bolo Re Shikariya. Radha Krishna Bol Bol, Bolo Re Shobhai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Bol Bol, Bolo Re Shobhai. Niche Mayar Bhashe, Jacho Beshe, Kacho Habu Dubu by Niche Mayar Bhashe, Jacho Beshe, Kacho Habu. You're drowning in this material world, surfacing in the water and going down again. Misery comes in waves in the material world. And if one doesn't take shelter of Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the age of Kali Yuga and attain a taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord, one's life is simply a waste. Hari bol, bolo re miche mayar boshe. Miche mayar boshe. Radha Krishna bol bol, bolo re shobha. Shri Shri Radha Krishna bol bol, bolo re shobha. Jiv Krishna das e Vishwas kole toar dhuko nai jiv. To get free from all misery in this world, all that's required is one tiny little adjustment in consciousness. From I am the big fat enjoyer to I am the servant of Krishna. Hari bol, bolo re Jiv Krishna das. Radha Krishna bol bol, bolo re shobha. Shri Shri Radha Krishna bol bol, bolo re shobha. Krishna bolbe jabe, phulaka hobe, jorbi anki boli tai. Krishna bolbe Krishna bolbe jabe, phulaka habe, jorbi anki boli tai. Krishna bolbe jabe, phulaka habe, jorbi. Hari bol, bolo Krishna bolbe jabe. Radha Krishna bol bol, bolo re shobha. Shri Shri Radha Krishna bol bol, bolo re shobha. Radha Krishna bolo, shange cholo, e matra bikachai. When one chants the holy names without offense, the heart will melt, tears will come to the eyes, hair will stand on end. And the devotees are begging door to door. The only alms they're asking, please come with us. Chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Take shelter of Hara, the internal energy of the Lord, who's so compassionate and kind, and give shelter to all the poor jivas who are lost in the material world. Just knowing this, people will become happy. They'll give up their morose consciousness, driving on the 101 freeway, going to their cubicle where they have to work for some stupid boss, and they'll start dancing in the streets, singing Radha Krishna bol bol bolo re shobha. Shri Shri Radha Krishna bol bol bolo re shobai. Jai Sakal Vipod Bhakti Vinod Bolan Jakon Om Nam Gai Jai. Jai Sakla Vipod Bhakti Vinod Bolan Jakon Om Nam Gai Jai. Sakla Vipod Bhakti Vinod Bolan Jakon. The great Acharya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in whose parivar, family, we are descendants, brought the great news of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings and pushed it all over the world. His illustrious son, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, prayed for by Bhaktivinoda, appeared as a ray of Vishnu and spread Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings all over India. And then the illustrious disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, brought those teachings to the Western countries and then spread them all over the world. And now people are taking shelter of the holy names, becoming free from all fear, and singing Radha Krishna bol bol bolo re shobai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna bol bol bolo re shobai. Jai Sakla Vipod Bhakti Vinod Bolan Jakon Om Nam Gai. Jai Sakla Vipod Radha Krishna bolo sange cholo e matra bikaha Radha Krishna. Krishna bolbe jabe pula kahabe jorbe anki bolitai. Krishna das se vishwas kole to ardukko nai ji Krishna das. Niche maya namaste tacho deshe tacho habu dubai. Shikariya Shabnadiya Preche Niche Godikai. Haribo Bolo Re Ji Krishna Ga. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jai Jai. Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jai Jai. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada. Premanande Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ji ki jai, Shriman Mahaprabhu ki, Shri Lakshmi Nrsingadev ki, Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki, Shri Mayapur Dham ki, Go Premanande Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Dena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadahmayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadhutam Purijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhrascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. And now we have the unbelievable good fortune of reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is. And we're going to recite chapter 5, because just by reciting this chapter, we will free ourselves from any of the mistakes we made today in our puja to the Lord, and also we'll be able to reestablish our personal relationship with the Supreme Personality of God, who's speaking from these very pages. And I like how we just transfer one place to the other. It wasn't just 5 minutes ago we were sitting in Mayapur doing the exact same thing, and now we're somewhere else. And that's what we intend to do. We'll just transfer one place to another, and we'll go on hearing and chanting until we run out the clock. That's our plan, the game plan. Does it work for all of you? Run out the clock, yeah. Stay on the field, don't get off. Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. Arjuna Vacha Sannyasam Karmanam Krishnam Punaryogam Chashamshasi Yachstreya Etayorekam Tanme Bruhi Sunishchitam Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sannyasa Karma Yogascha Nrikshayasya Kadavubhau Tayostu Karma Sannyasat Karma Yogo Vishishyate Gaya Sanitya Sannyasi Yo na dveshti na kangshati Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho Sukham bandhat pramuchyate Sankhya yogao pratagbala Pravadanti na panditaha Ekam apyastita samyag Upayorabindate palam Yat sankhyae prapyate sthanam Tad yogar api gamyate Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha ya pashyati sa pashyati Sanyasastu mahabaho tukamaptum ayogataha Yoga yukto manir brahma nacharin adhigachyati Yoga yukto vishudhatma vijitatma jitendriyaha Sarva bhutatma bhutatma Kuravan api nalipyate Naiva kinchit karomiti Yukto manyeta tatvavid Pashyan srinvan sprasan jigran Ashnan gachan swapan swasan Pralapan vistrajan grinnan Unmishan nimishan api Indriyan indriyarteshu Vartanta iti tharayan Brahmanyadaya karmani Sangam tyakva karoti yaha Lipyatena sapapena Padma patram ivambasa Kayena manasa buddhya Kevalar indriyarapi Yogina karma kurvanti Sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. Yukta karma palam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishtikim. Ayukta kama karena pale sakto nibadyate. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi. Navadware pure dehi naiva kurvan nakarayan. Nakartritvam nakarmani lokasya srajati prabhu. Nakarma palasam yogam sabhavastu pravartate. Nadate kasyatit papam nachaiva sukritam vibhuhu. Agyanin navritam jnanam tena vihyanti jantavaha. Jnanena tudadajnanam yesham nashitam atmanaha. Tesham aditya vajnanam prakashayati tatparam. Tadbudayas tadatmanas tanishtas tatparayana. Gachantya punar avritim jnana nirduta kalmashaha. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastani. Shuni chaiva shapakecha pandita samadarshinaha. Ihaiva ter jita sargo yesham samyestatam manaha. Nirdosham hi samam brahma tasma brahmani testitaha. Na prahrishyet priyam prapya nodvijet prapya cha priyam. Stira budhira sammudho brahmavid brahmani stitaha. Payas parshe swasaktatma vindatyatmani yat sukham. Sabrahma yoga yuktatma sukhamakshayam ashnute. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga tukayona ye evate. Adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Shaknoti haivaya shodhum praksharira vimokshanat. Kama krodod bhavam begam sayukta sasukhi naraha. Yonta sukontara tatantar jyotir evayaha. Sayogi brahmanirvanam brahma bhuto digachyati. Labante brahmanirvanam rishayashina kalmasha. Chinna dvaida yatatmana sarva bhuta hiterataha. Kama krodha vimuktanam yatinam yatachetasam. Abito brahmanirvanam vartate viditatmanam. Sparshan kritva bahirbayam chakshush chaivantare bruvoho. Pranapanau samau kritva nasabhyantara charinau. Yatendriya manobhutir munir moksha parayanaha. Vigatecha bhaya krodho yaksada mukta evasaha. Bhuktaram jagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Suridam sarvabhutanam jnatvamam shantim richati. Om Tat Sariti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Supanisatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastri Shri Krishna Arjuna Sambhade Karma Sannyas Yoga Nama Panchamodhyayaha. Together the translations, starting on page 243. Arjuna said, O Krishna, first of all you asked me to renounce work, and then you recommend work with devotion. Now will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial? The personality of Godhead replied, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation, but of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated, O mighty armed Arjuna. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service, karma yoga, as being different from the analytical study of the material world, Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both. One who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, sees things as they are. Merely renouncing all activities, yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord, cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. A person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects, and he is aloof from them. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action as a lotus leaf is untouched by water. The yogis, abandoning attachment, act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses, only for the purpose of purification. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace, because he offers the result of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. Nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge. When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nescience is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything as the sun lights up everything in the daytime. When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one can become fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge, and thus proceed straight on the path of liberation. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater outcast. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant, nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. Before giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is well situated and is happy in this world. One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme, and ultimately he attains the Supreme. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings, and who are free from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence. The transcendentalist aiming at liberation becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Arjavam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Arjavam means simplicity. And in various places, it's defined in various ways. But one way simplicity is defined as straightforwardness in one's dealings with others. Not that one should offend others by telling the brutal truth in a way that disturbs their mind, but one should be forthcoming with the truth and not try to bend the truth or shade it in some way. And this simplicity is one of the qualities of an advanced person, a brahmana, somebody who's in the mode of goodness, partly because when one is situated in the mode of goodness, there is a perception by that person that I'm not the body. Sattvam yad brahmadarshanam. From the mode of sattva, one has the ability to see the difference between matter and the spirit. This is real knowledge. This is illumination. Kshetrajnam chapimam vidhi sarva kshetri shubharata kshetra kshetrajnayo jnanam yatach jnanam matam mama. Krishna says, this is real knowledge when one is able to see the difference between the field and the knower of the field. And when one has a clear idea, I am not the body, I am an eternal spiritual soul who's a servant of Krishna, then the propensity to lie is reduced, because I lie to embellish that which is lacking in myself. And that which is lacking is my material side, my material body. In other words, when I think I am my body, then I have to make up for it. I spend my whole life trying to cover up for the embarrassing fact that this body is temporary and lacking in so many ways. But when one has a clear idea that I'm a servant of Krishna, the soul can't be cut or burned or dried or killed in any way, it's eternal, then what is there to lose? This is the basis for the Brahminical culture also, one who has no vested interest in the material world. That is, he's not trying to gain something for himself, because situated in the mode of goodness, he or she is dedicated simply to the truth. In the university system, we have tenure for professors. And this means that the professor supposedly can't be fired. And the reason for that is that if you are obligated politically to speak in a certain way, then you can't teach freely. In other words, it may not be politically correct or popular to teach certain subject matters. Throughout the ages, people who had varying opinions from the status quo were burned at the stake, or had to hide out in the mountains so they weren't burned at the stake for having views that opposed those of the modern opinion, those with the prevailing opinion. And this pretty much goes on even nowadays, although there's not a lot of burning at the stake. Intellectually, people are shunned if they try to go against what the general body of scientists would say. For instance, Sariputta was explaining that in science, in every area of science, there are a small number of people who do research and who decide what is what. He said if you gather them together, they would fill a small room. And they're the ones who decide who gets to publish articles and say that the material world's like this, or it's not like this, or to make any kind of opinion that matters. You have to be published in certain magazines that are important. If you don't do that, you don't count. In other words, if you just go out and give a speech, nobody cares. But if you're published in the right magazines, this makes a difference. You get to say that you're actually a player in the arena of that particular science. So who gets to decide what gets published and what doesn't? A small number of people who get together and say, this is the way it is. This was the date the earth was formed, and anybody who says anything different, we just won't publish what they say, and so on. This is not arjavam or simplicity. There's a way in which the truth is being bent or shaded or covered or preventing people from those. Some are preventing others from speaking. So presumably in the university system, the principle is that one should be able to teach without being fired or being censured or being shunned. Of course, that doesn't necessarily happen. There's a lot of social pressure and academic pressure. And if you come out, for instance, as a scientist and say, I believe in God, and you say, are you talking, like metaphorically or theoretically? No, I believe in God. Then you'll be ostracized practically from that. So this kind of Brahminical culture was meant for those who are arjavam. They're simple. They're not obligated to anyone else. They don't have a vested interest. They're not trying to protect anything. They have nothing to protect except the truth. That they want to present it in a certain way. This is straightforwardness. And it's difficult. There are complexities when I shade the truth or I tell a lie that I have to deal with mentally and sometimes physically. Oh, how does the poem go? Oh, what a web we weave when we practice to deceive, something like that. That as soon as I misrepresent and I tell a lie, then I have to make up for it. One thing leads to another, and I end up trying to cover my tracks, so to speak. And the greatest lie of all is that I'm this body. That takes a lot of work to keep up the appearances and to present myself as something I'm not. So this principle of arjavam, simplicity, is a great relief, that one should be straightforward in all kinds of dealings, and this necessitates one being dedicated to spiritual life and situated in goodness and able to see one's spiritual nature. So Sridhar Swami also says that there are qualities of this straightforwardness. He says clarity and transparency. So a sadhu, a spiritual practitioner, has nothing to hide. In other words, life is an open book. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met the Qazi, after the Qazi tried to stop the Sankirtan movement in Navadvip, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, we will protest. And he got together tens of thousands and then hundreds of thousands of devotees carrying torches, and they went to the house of the Qazi, and they went into his room finally to look for him because he was hiding somewhere. And he came out, and Mahaprabhu said, "Is this any way to treat a guest?" And the Qazi said, "Well, I was a little nervous." And they talked for some time about philosophy, and at one point the Qazi said, "I want to tell you a secret." And Mahaprabhu said, "I have no secrets among my associates. Whatever you want to say, you can say in front of them." This is the mood of the sadhu. Of course, he then revealed that he had had a dream. That is, the Qazi had seen Lord Nrsingadev visit him in a dream and pounce upon him and put his nails on his chest and threaten that if you ever try to stop the Sankirtan again, I will tear your chest apart. And the Qazi said this helped out in his making the decision. But this mood that I'm amongst my followers, I have nothing to hide, is the mood of a sadhu whose life should be an open book. This kind of simplicity, or as Sridhar Swami says, an aspect of simplicity is transparency, that I'm willing to show who I am. This is also the very definition of sincerity, which comes from a word that means without wax, because in the history of marble and its being mined from quarries, there's a way in which the most expensive marble was without lines or any cracks. And the marble miners understood this, so they would take pieces out that were actually blemished, and they would hide the blemishes and the cracks by putting wax in them. Of course, when it became hot, the wax would go out and everyone realized that they bought inferior marble. But this sincere in Latin means without wax. And the meaning is that we don't try to cover up who we are. We accept, this is who I am. In fact, this is a good quality. If one acts according to one's adhikari or qualification, there should be no problem. Swe adhikariya nishta saguna parikirtita. That if you act according to the level of your qualification, that's a good quality, says Krishna to Uddhava in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Viparyostu dosha syad. Esher eva nishchayaha. And it's fixed, a principle that if you also act according to what you're not qualified for, in other words, if you try to do more or less than your adhikari, your qualification, that's not a good quality. So transparency involves not trying to hide my real level of advancement. I present myself as I am. Prabhupada mentions in the Nectar of Instruction, in the fifth verse, that there are various levels of devotees, the Kanishta Adhikari, the Madhyama Adhikari, the Uttama Adhikari. Of course, these are general categories, and there's a lot to say about these categories, but he makes this point that if one is not on the level of a topmost devotee and tries to imitate the topmost devotee and pretend to be a topmost devotee, this is a cause for fall down. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur also mentions that if you're qualified for a higher level, in other words, if there's more service you can do, more surrender you're ready for, and you don't do it, this is also a cause for fall down. This is like niyamagraha, which has double meaning not following the rules or regulations or following them without getting any result, is another way to put it. You're following the rules and regulations, but you're not getting anything out of it, or you don't even know what the rules and regulations mean. So similarly, we must be vigilant to move forward on the path of devotional service. And the question is, how do I move forward in devotional service? And the answer is, in devotional service or any other endeavor, by doing what you can with what you have right now. And if you sincerely apply yourself according to your qualification in devotional service, then you'll call your own progress. So clarity and also transparency, which are similar words. And Prabhupada also mentions in his writings about simplicity that there is a simplicity of acceptance. In other words, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna that matak paratanam nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. There's no truth superior to me. Everything rests on me as pearls are strung upon a thread. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matak sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajanti mam buddha bhava samanvita. The wise person who, he says, everything emanates from me. Everything comes from me. I'm the basis of everything. And he said, one who knows this and simply accepts it, that person engages in loving devotional service to me. And there are many other verses in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna reveals his godhood, his position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Vishnu, even in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the all-pervading transcendence. And Arjuna accepts it. It's such a relief. In the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavam, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum, and so on. And as he simply comes out and says, you've said you're the Supreme, and I believe it. This is another kind of simplicity of acceptance. This makes things very easy because if you're a poor person and a rich person comes to you with abundant wealth and they pack up a bag for you with $1 billion. I don't know if you could fit $1 billion in one bag, but if you could, they have a bag of $1 billion. Say it's a cashier's check, and they hand it over to you and just say, take it. Now, the simple thing to do is take it. So Prabhupada points out that Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityaja mame kam sharanam braja aham tong sarva papibhyo moksha shami masuchaha. I'll take care of you. Just surrender. You want to take it? Be simple. Just take it. Don't make up a bunch of excuses. Just say, okay, I'll take it. I'll take the deal. I accept you're the Supreme Personality of God, and I'll take it. And at the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada points out that, okay, you're about to read the Bhagavad Gita. Just for a while, take a simple approach and say, okay, suspend disbelief. Just say Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pretend you're simple and don't complicate things. If you're an intellectual, there's a million different ways you can dismiss that. Well, it just doesn't match up, and we've seen in the language there's a gap somewhere. Well, bully for you. You're not going to get the money. But somebody else who's just simple at heart and they say Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, they say, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Then they win. They're in. That's it. That's simplicity of acceptance. And anyone can do that at any time, to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then there's simplicity of living. And this is a practical matter also, because we can simplify. There are agencies here in the Bay Area that you can call, and they are called personal organizers. In fact, there's an organization of personal organizers, and they're trained how to take care of all your stuff, because not many people are trained to deal with the amount of stuff we have nowadays. There's too much stuff to deal with, and when you get too much stuff, what personal organizers will tell you, I know because one told me once, looked around and said, you know what all this extra stuff is that you don't need and you've completely forgotten about, that's all over your house and on your desk and everywhere else? It's called visual noise. It's noise, but it comes in through your eyes and into your mind, and you don't even know it's there, but it's disturbing you all the time. And you'll notice in the life of an advanced devotee who's simple, has a simplicity of living, he or she eliminates the visual noise. You get rid of all the stuff you don't need. Because as soon as you have one thing you don't need, it starts to distract you from your real goal in life. It takes away your focus. What to speak if you have a whole house full of stuff you don't need, or a purse full of stuff you don't need, or a wallet full of stuff you don't need, or drawers all over the house full of stuff you don't need. Anybody smiling yet? And these things add up, and actually they create so much noise in our life that it's very hard to concentrate. And at the time of death, Krishna says, yang yang vapi smaran bhavam tajat yante kalevaram tam tam evaiti konteya sadat tad bhava bhavitaha. Wherever your mind goes, that's where you're going. Whatever you think about, that's where you're going to be carried to. This is the science of the material world. The mind is carrying us from one body to the next. Shariram yaravapnoti yachchap yukramatishvara grit vaitani samyati vayur gandam ivashaya. Just like the air, the breeze is carrying over. So if you have a life that's jammed full of extra stuff, you're going to think about it. Extra bank accounts, extra obligations, debts you didn't pay off. These are kinds of things that stick in your mind. And often when people are dying, their mind goes all over the place. They say, what about little Tommy, What's going to happen to little Tommy? Where is little Tommy? And, I put away money for him and so on and so forth. And, unless one is trained to think of Krishna, manmana pavamad bhakto, madhyaji mam namaskaro, through a life of simplicity, one thing, you're satisfied with one thing, and that is hearing about Krishna. This is the simple life. All the other things may go on. You may have duties to do, fine. But simplify them. Don't have extra. This is called atyahara, over-collecting. Incidentally, you can over-collect spiritual knowledge as well, interestingly enough. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami quotes a verse that says that one should not become a bookworm and simply collect all kinds of information with the wrong motivation. In other words, you can go around studying all kinds of different shastras with the idea of, I'm going to show them, or I'm going to defeat somebody, or I'm going to really show up when I do my saptaha and really shine. They're not thinking purification. They're not thinking how to connect with Krishna. Simplicity means I'm reading, I'm studying, I'm taking in the information for my own purification. In fact, it goes for writing also. Prabhupada says that as the Goswamis say, or Kaviraj Goswami, when he writes the Chaitanya Charitamrita, whether I know or know not, I'm writing this for my own purification. And Prabhupada comments in his purport that Vaishnavas should write, but they shouldn't write to become some famous author. In fact, they shouldn't even care if it gets published or not. You're just writing so that you can serve Krishna, so you can fix your mind on Krishna, so that you can open your heart to Krishna. When you put it on paper, when you actually sit down and write something, then it clarifies your thoughts and you're able to think of Krishna. Everyone should write, incidentally. Everyone should write something. You should write your realizations. And so hearing and collecting information for the sake of it, or writing for the sake of becoming a famous author, these are not according to arjavam or simplicity. And Tapana Mishra was an example of a person who collected all kinds of spiritual knowledge, and then he became confused. And he came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he surrendered. What should I do? Mahaprabhu said, chant Hare Krishna constantly. Simplify. Concentrate your mind on one thing. This is another way to advance in spiritual life. Apply something. Apply something. There are so many principles. There are 9 processes of devotional service. If you apply yourself to one of those, actually apply means you do it with full heart and attention. Tasmad ekena manasa bhagavan sattvatam pati shotavya kirtitavyascha dhyeya pujascha nityada. Means that with one pointed attention, one should hear, chant, and remember Krishna. One pointed attention. In fact, in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami and the other acharyas point out that this is the reason that pure devotional service is so rare. This is one of the qualities of pure devotional service. It's rarity. It's rare for various reasons. One reason is that in order to attain it, you have to have one point of attention. That means you're not doing other kinds of sadhana. Some people mix in and they think that I need all kinds of other things. I have to do, attain some kind of trance through Ashtanga in order to perfect my bhakti. No, you don't. I have to become a karmi, an elevationist, and go to a higher planet before I can become Krishna conscious. There are a million ways to mix in all kinds of things to the process of bhakti. Not necessary, say the acharyas. What's necessary? Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmanyavritam. Bhakti free from jnana, bhakti free from karma. Only one idea, just how to perform favorable devotional service, especially through the process of hearing and chanting. If you do that, you'll get everything. Everything. You'll please Krishna. Shraddha Shabde Bishwas Kahe. Surida Nishchoy Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. This is faith. It means I do this one thing. Everything else comes from it. I don't need other kinds of things in order to attain perfection in life. Or to, if I perform pure devotional service, or as I performed pure devotional service, Prabodhananda Saraswati says, Bhaktis tvayi stiratara bhagavan yadi syad daivena nak paliti divya kishori murti. Mukti swayam mukilitanjali sevatesman dharmarta arta gatayo pratiksha. That liberation herself, personified, is standing at my door saying, how can I serve you? What to speak of all dharma, artha, kama, moksha, all of the other things, these goals that people work so hard for, driving down the 101 freeway, going to Home Depot, to try to attain something in life, to have some perfection, some happiness. Everything available through the process of devotional service. This is simplicity of thought, simplicity of living, that I concentrate on one place. That's in focused devotional service, especially hearing and chanting. Then stane stita shutigatam. Stita means that you're fixed. You're fixed in this one thing. This is simple. I'm fixed in this one thing. I don't need so many other things. Stane stita shutigatam tanuvan manobir. My principle of life is organized around the hearing and chanting. Tanama rupa charitari sukirtananu smrityo kramena rasana manasini yoja. And then there's a step-by-step way, just by dedicating my heart, my life, my mind to the process of hearing and chanting, that step by step I'll make advancement to nishta. I'll become fixed by hearing. And then I'll come to ruchi. And then in ruchi there are various qualities. I'll develop a longing for devotional service. And there's a way in which, although the practitioner thinks that they thought of it, but there's a descent of a particular form of the Lord into one's heart and mind that one becomes fixed on by one's diligent hearing and chanting. That's the Lord making his avatar into the heart of the devotee. And from ruchi and this taste, one comes to asakti, or attachment, to the process of devotional service. And this is the other reason that pure devotional service is rare, according to Rupa Goswami, that people don't become attached to it. They're attached to so many other things. This is not simple. This means bhogaishvarya prasaktanam taya prahita chetasam, that one who's thinking of so many other things, they have many other loves in life besides Krishna. Krishna's nice, but I like my other stuff. That person will not have the fixed consciousness. But somebody who simplifies their life and they narrow it down to tivrena bhakti yogena. Tivrena means that if you take a magnifying glass, you can burn down San Jose. Don't say anything. Tell anybody I said that. But it's true. With one little magnifying glass, you could burn down a house, because the concentrated ray from the sun coming through that lens which focuses the heat and light from that, it'll start a fire. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. So a person who has that Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. They have that purpose in their life that I'm going to do bhakti. That bhakti is my life and soul. And they have that intensity of purpose for bhakti. That will bring them to the point of asakti, without any other distractions to anything else. So, this world is not our home. Good to know, right? Because it's really troublesome here, and there's always some difficulty. It's you don't have to adjust your TV set or anything like that. It's just the nature of the world. It's full of complexities because we don't belong here, and that's good to know. Nothing more to see here. Best to pack it up and head on out. And the only thing that is interesting to me in this world, or that keeps me in this world, is my attachment to it. Vedas say, asango kyayam purushaha. You have nothing to do with this world at all. You have no sangha here. But I make a sangha. I make my connection to this material world through my attachment. I attach myself to it through my desire. I see something and I say, mine. And now you got to deal with it. And your life becomes complicated, not simple. And in the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, we just heard how Krishna says, if someone dedicates all their activities and their possessions to the Supreme Lord, they become happy. And no more problems for them. No more attachments. Their attachments to the Supreme. They're going about their business. Not that you can't drive on the 101 freeway. Not that you can't go to Home Depot. But you have to dedicate your activities to the Supreme. Otherwise, you own them. They become your attachments. That's your world you live in, your little world where you have your sports team, you have your coffee cup, you have your little whatever it is, little this, little that. It's all little. But when one attaches oneself to the Supreme Lord, Mahatmanastu mamparta daivim prakritim ashrita bhajantyananya manaso gyatva bhutatim avyayam. A person becomes a Mahatma, Maha-Atma. His soul expands. He becomes big, not small. He's not stuck in a little suburb in a little box somewhere. His vision is wide open. His heart is as big as the sky. And he can give. This is what the soul needs to do. It needs to give. We're servants. So as servants, we grow by giving, and we feel happiness by giving, by serving. So the Maha-Atma expands and expands and expands because his conception is that Krishna is the supreme beneficiary and everything's for him. No more minuscule attachments. So all we see in this world and all that holds us back from a life of complete happiness is our attachments. So we have to transfer our attachment from the little petty attachments to all kinds of little things that just float away anyway, to attachment to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And even better than that is serving the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And even better than that is serving the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if you want to get really up there, you do a servant of the servant of the servant 1,000,000 times removed. Then you really have a life of liberation in Krishna consciousness. This is the secret of simplicity. There's one thing, that's Krishna. Dedicate your life to him and attach yourself to him. Don't attach yourself to all kinds of tiny little petty things. Then everything will be better. And also, less is more. The less things we have, the more we can actually introspect. As Krishna was saying in this 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, that the aim of a devotee is inward. He's focused inward. And when I have more things to concentrate on, when I collect more things, then I become burdened by them, and then my concentration goes externally. Of course, I was in Chaupati and they did this play. I didn't see it because they just flew in from the airport, but I heard the play was going on. I was driven right from the airport and then walked in and sat down and gave the Sunday lecture right off the plane. But they told me right before I got there that they had just performed this play that there's a simple brahmachari, and he lives by the river, and he's got very few possessions except the cloth he wears, the simple kolpin. And he hangs up the kolpin to dry, and then a little mouse comes out while he's bathing, and he starts chewing on it and then takes it away. So this becomes a slight problem for him. So he decides that I'll solve the problem. His neighbor gives him some advice and says, get a cat. Okay, that'll solve it. So he gets the cat, and then the cat chases away the rat who's chewing on his kolpin, or it was a mouse, don't worry. And so then the cat starts crying, and he goes back to his neighbor across the hill and says, the cat's crying now. Well, now what do? He said, you got to give him milk. Where do I get milk? You got to get a cow. So he goes out and gets a cow, and then say, well, the cow is mooing all the time. What do I do? How do I take care of this cow? Oh, it's a lot of work. You should get a partner. Get married, have a wife. So he goes off and he gets a wife, and then next thing the wife says, we're going to live out here in the field. Can't we have a house? And they go to Home Depot. And they get a house. And that's where it all starts, at Home Depot. So they build a house, and everybody knows, if you leave a house, like devotees that live in Mayapur, sometimes they leave during the hot season just for 3-4 months, and they come back, and there's nobody. If there's nobody living in the house, practically it's ruined when they come back. Why? Because everything gets ruined in this world. You just let it sit for a few minutes, it just ruins itself. That's the nature of this material world. There's entropy. Everything's disintegrating, right? So now you got to maintain it. And maintaining a house is like maintaining a business. If anybody's had their own business, that's what it's like. Constant work to try to maintain it. So he had been advised by his guru to live out in a simple life and, just have a few possessions, chant Hare Krishna, be happy. And so when his guru came back and he found him living in a big house, and he had a cow and a wife, and now he has kids, and Guruji was giving a lecture, and he said, I'd really like to come to your lecture, but I can't make it tonight because they got me working late, and I won't be able to come. And he said that all these attachments are keeping me back. They're holding me. I can't do it. So the next day, the guru goes down to the river, and there was a tree that's inside the river, just sticking out along the bank, and he goes and he grabs onto the tree, and he starts screaming out, help, help, help. And the disciple comes running down from his big house, and Guruji, what's wrong? What's wrong? And he says, this tree's got me. This tree's got me. And he said, Guruji, just let go. Just let go of the tree. It doesn't have you. You have it. And he turned around and said, exactly. These are all your attachments you're holding on to. So there's a way in which everything should be utilized for Krishna. And not more, not less. The Shastra says, Kamasya nendriya pritir labo jivete yavata jivasya tattva jignasya narto yash cheha karmabhi. Life's desires, there are desires in life. It means life's desires should be directed towards self-realization. And you should simply take what you need to maintain yourself in a healthy way. And you should maintain yourself in a healthy way. Prabhupada pointed this out as one of the top things devotees should be concerned with, the being healthy. And he took meticulous care of his health. He walked every day. He ate a very special diet. He got massaged twice a day to stay healthy so he could do his service in a concentrated way. So the verse doesn't say that you have to live an imbalanced, unhealthy life. No. It says you should live a healthy life, self-preservation, but you should have one purpose, a simple purpose. I'm maintaining all this stuff and this material body simply so that I can inquire more about Srimad Bhagavatam. Because if you can divert your attention from all the distractions of Kali Yuga and develop a taste for the holy name and the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a chance you can actually become advanced in devotional service. But if you hang out on the internet and you gossip and you listen to other people gossip, you can't advance in devotional service. It's impossible. It's impossible to come to the higher levels of devotional service. Who says? Rupa Goswami says. He says devotional service is rare. Why is it rare? Because no one has asakti. They don't have attachment. They're attached to so many things besides hearing and chanting. So one way or another, you have to attach yourself. You have to become attached. Attached means attached. You've seen people who are attached before, right? Have you? Attached to something. Have you ever seen somebody who's attached to something?
Your iPhone, your iPad.
Somebody's attached to an iPhone, they can't leave it alone. It's like a part of their body, right? Anything else you've seen anybody attached to? How about other people? Isn't that the subject matter of every song and every movie that was ever made? I love you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to hold your hand. You know. Zoe can sing all these for you in an actual melodious voice. But I know from listening to all the songs when I grew up, if I go back and they're all in there, I can recall that they're all about some kind of attachment. And that's the nature of the soul, to be attached. So we have to transfer that attachment. Yuvatinam yata yuni yunam cha yuvatao yata. Mano biramate tadvan, mano me ramatam twayi. Rupa Goswami says, just as young boys are attached to young girls, and young girls are attached to young boys. Think about it. How attached are they? Someone was saying that on the bus tour, when there was boys and girls, they got to the Grand Canyon, and the boys and girls, because they're looking at each other when they got out of the bus, they didn't realize the Grand Canyon was there. Now, it's hard to miss the Grand Canyon. It's one of the most awe-inspiring sights in the world. But when young boys and young girls, wow, you're at the Grand Canyon. Oh! This is the kind of asakti that Rupa Goswami says, give me this kind of asakti. I don't notice other things. In the story of the Avaduta Brahmin, who King Yadu met, wandering in the wilderness, and Yadu said, how did you become so advanced? He said, I have my 24 gurus. And he said, I don't see any gurus out here. What are you talking about? And he said, the tree, and the mountain, and the Karari hawk, and the prostitute, and the arrow maker. He goes through and names all his different gurus. So one of his gurus, the guru of simplicity or concentration and focus, was the arrow maker. And the arrow maker sits and he has to make the piece of wood perfectly straight, otherwise the arrow won't hit its mark. And so he's a skilled craftsman, and he takes pride in his work, and he's sitting in his shop in town, and he's making his arrows with such concentration that the king and his retinue and the band and the elephants and the jugglers and the flamethrowers, the flame eaters, they all come through town in a big parade. And after about 45 minutes, the king passes, and all the elephants pass, and the big parade is gone, and someone is commenting about the parade and how marvelous it was. And the arrow maker says, what parade? I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. He was so absorbed in making his arrow that he was unaware of the passing parade of the king. And similarly, tasmad ekena manasa, one-pointed attention. It requires asakti. That means, say the acharyas, not just in bhakti, it's in anything. If you want to be good at anything, you have to have one-pointed attention. Right, so? Musicians, they have to spend a lot of time. When I was taking some music lessons from Acharya Chandra, and Satyadev was too, on the way home, Satya was saying that Acharya chastised him, and he said, you know, real musicians who are serious, they spend 4 or 5 hours a day practicing, not 5 minutes or, you know. Tasmad ekena manasa. If you really want to make advancement in something, you have to be attached to it. You really have to be focused. This is a kind of simplicity of mind. I have one purpose in life. Because the word simple actually it connotes singular. It means one thing. I have one thing. And this is actually the way to move forward in any project. You have to have one-pointed attention. In fact, I wrote down a few notes about this kind of mindset for doing projects and goals and moving forward. Here's a few things.
I plan each day in advance. I prioritize and work on the most important tasks first. I work single-mindedly to complete each task before moving on to another. Just those three things are powerful. Then one of the techniques for getting work done, decide what's the most important thing, and then concentrate on that and take everything else off your desk. Tasmad ekena manasa. You have one pointed attention. Don't think of 5 things, 10 things, 2 things. Think of one thing. Singular means simple. One thing. Tasmad ekena manasa. Bhagavan satvatam pati shrotavya kirtitavyasya dhyaya pujasya nityada. I remember the first time I met our party leader, Tripurari Das at the time, then he became Tripurari Swami. We had a party of book distributors. We all joined together in Chicago, Illinois. But the first time Kesha Bharti Maharaj and I and Tripurari Maharaj got together and one other devotee, we met him at the San Francisco airport. We got in the van and we had distributed books there at the San Francisco airport. We were driving home and we had started a kirtan and somebody was talking and he turned around and stopped the car. Who's talking during the kirtan? That was the mood of the party for several years. You get in the car, read Chaitanya Charitamrita. It was very focused. And as a result, everyone in that party became very learned and advanced. And they read the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita together, that party, and the Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is the process of advancing in devotional service. Take everything else off your desk. Focus on hearing your rounds. Hearing japa with a singular mind, don't let it go anywhere else. You have to bring it back to the holy name. You have to fix your intention. And when your intention is fixed, then you can fix your attention. Both words have the word ten, which means to connect, like tendon in your leg. It's what connects you. Your attention connects you to the object you're focused on. So this is singular mind. It means simple. And to achieve that, less is more. Think in those terms, that when more things flow into my consciousness in my life, it doesn't make me richer, it doesn't make me better, but the less I have to distract me so that I can concentrate on Krishna's names, on hearing and chanting, and on my service and serving the devotees, then I actually have wealthy life. Finally, when the heart is satisfied by Krishna and Krishna consciousness, the mind gives up its frantic search for happiness in the material world and becomes our friend. And I noticed wherever I go with my little Macintosh computer, my little Apple Mac Air, I take it out and then it's set up so it immediately starts to search for a network. Because how could you live without a network? And there's a little set of bars at the top of the screen, right? And it starts going up and down. It's searching for a network. And that's just what the mind does also. The mind's always searching for some network to connect to. And until it actually connects to Krishna, then it's always searching somewhere else. So someone asked Kalakanta Prabhu this question in class the other day in Mayapur. She said that why is it that I chant but I don't, but I can't fix my mind? Did you ever hear that question before? If I had a nickel for every time I heard that question, we could buy another big temple. And by the way, did you see the for rent signs all over the place? Ha ha ha. So he said, the reason your mind's going all around the world and is not concentrating on the holy, because your heart's not happy. When your heart becomes happy, actually satisfied, the mind's okay, because the mind's just out there searching for a network and it wants to hook in and find some happiness. And until you actually experience that happiness in your heart, the mind frantically looks everywhere. And when the Srimad Bhagavatam is going on, the mind goes, I'm going to sleep. And you go, not now. Not now. Come on. And the mind starts thinking of all kinds of other things to do. And it's a struggle to overcome that. So one has to vigilantly practice devotional service and actually get something. We have to come to the point of nishta. We have to come to the point of steadiness. That means giving up the anartas, the unwanted things within the heart. It can be done. It has to be done. And through the right channel, anyone can come to that state of purification, especially by Harinam. All the sages, all of our acharyas, Sanatana Goswami talks about this extensively in the Brihat Bhagavatamrita, the power of Sankirtan. Sankirtan means the congregational chanting of the holy names, and by extension, according to our immediate acharyas, it also means preaching. It also means going out and spreading the holy name to others. In fact, Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said that this book distribution is the Brihat Madanga. It's all connected because you really have to concentrate on Krishna and the holy names when you're preaching to other people. You have to focus on what you're presenting and how people are taking it and so forth. And the Sankirtan, the congregational chanting, together cooperating to please Krishna through chanting Hare Krishna and through distribution of the holy name throughout the world. This is the prime means for purifying the heart and the consciousness. In fact, it's the infallible means. If one is desirous of advancing to the perfectional stage of life, and one must be desirous, otherwise you have to stay in the material world, then one should take, says Shukadeva Goswami, to this process of chanting the holy names of the Lord. It's a doubtless and fearless way of success for all. Doubtless and fearless. That's coming from Shukadeva Goswami. And all the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught this everywhere in a simple way. When Prakashananda Saraswati engaged in conversation with Mahaprabhu, was talking all about the Vedanta Sutra, Mahaprabhu said, well, my spiritual master said I'm a fool. And so he said, you're not qualified. You're not qualified to study the Vedanta Sutra. Just chant Hare Krishna. That's simple. Take it. It's there. Everything's there in the holy name. Ai mukta kaleru passimanam. All the great sages, the liberated souls, they're saying this. They're doing it. They're saying it's all in the holy name. So this is acceptance. This is simple. I simply take it and get that satisfaction. It's available very quickly for someone who takes the process seriously. Very quickly. One can actually attain a happiness in heart. And if you get 1 second of that experience for yourself, sitting and chanting japa, especially, of course, kirtan, any kind of chanting of the holy name of the Lord, and we should chant as much as possible. But if you can focus your mind or take the time to concentrate when you chant japa and experience the holy name, you hear something and you feel the effect of the holy name, knowledge, detachment, and bliss. That will prevent your mind from flying all over the universe. You've connected to the network, the actual place where you're meant to connect. Tasmad ekena manasa. The mind has found its network, and it will stay home. It won't roam all over the universe and torture you through a frantic search for something else, something else, something else. Everything there is already there. So this is a life actually of arjavam, of simplicity, to dedicate one's life to the single cause of going back home, back to Godhead. Because there are many great causes, or many good causes, I should say, but there's one great cause. And we should think of the great cause. Don't major in minor things. Om Tat Sat. Gaur Premanande Haribo. Now let's have some discussion. What do you think? Yes.
Thank you for the nice explanations. I have a question. You mentioned that one should be desirous, otherwise one has to remain in the material world. So how can we cultivate this desirousness of getting perfection?
How do you cultivate desire? Yeah, that's a good question. Cultivation. Could you look up the word cultivate, somebody? Who's got the dictionary? Okay, let's see who wins. The paper media with puja or the... One thing is that we become like the people we associate with. I noticed this, especially when I was just in Mayapur, one of my god brothers who goes there very specifically to cultivate bhakti and to be a servant and to hear and chant. He's greedy like anything. He was all over the place. I saw him. You saw? Rajendra Nandan. He showed up at a lot of our yatra programs. But he's everywhere. Everywhere you look, he's there. He's the first one to get the ghee lamp. He's the first one standing in line over. He's got his program down. He's going there for a reason. Tasmad ekena manasa. So I was thinking about him today and how just by being around him, it increased my desire. Because I saw he's so greedy, and how did he get in front? And how did he get this? And I was like, I got to be more like him, you know. I thought I had some desire, and then I see somebody else, and they have more desire, and there's sort of a natural competition that arises in your heart. And also, when you appreciate that person, you know, what they're doing, there's a natural way that you take on their qualities. You open your heart and take on their qualities. As Radhanath Maharaj made this point the other day in his class, he said, because it pleases Krishna. When you appreciate his devotees, it pleases Krishna, and that's what actually opens your heart. That's how you're actually able to take on the qualities of the devotees. So one thing you can pray for, most certainly, is association with advanced devotees. If you make this prayer, and Krishna, please give me association with your most advanced devotees, and then say this, I'll take full advantage of it when I get it. When I see that, and sometimes it's hard to see right away because advanced devotees are so humble that oftentimes you miss it. I give this example before, but when I first joined the temple in San Francisco, Jayananda he was looking out for us, for the new bhaktas. And I thought he was a new bhakta, just a lot older than us, because he was so humble. I couldn't tell until someone came like, he's the main guy here. What do you say? And with Rajendra Nandan, I just noticed when I saw him in Mayapur, he's so humble because he's fixed on grabbing as much nectar. He doesn't want any kind of disturbance, any blockade which comes from this feeling of arrogance that I'm somebody. He totally throws that to the side. And so he's very humble and open to drink in every drop of nectar he can get everywhere in Mayapur. So at first, because if you're arrogant, then you start thinking like, oh, he's not that advanced. But then you realize, actually, that's what an advanced devotee is. They're very, very humble, and they're very hungry and humble. So get around a good association, and let's hear how to cultivate. Oh, we can't tell who won now. All right, he's conceding the race to.
Cultivate means to improve and prepare, and then parentheses land.
To improve and prepare?
Yes.
To improve and prepare.
As by plowing or fertilizing for raising crops, till. B, to loosen or dig soil around growing plants. To grow or tend a plant or crop. To promote the growth of. To nurture or foster. To form and refine as by education. To seek the acquaintance or goodwill of, make friends with. And then it's Latin, and it says cultivare or cultivat, and cultivus means tilled.
Till. Perfect, because it fits in with Lord Chaitanya's metaphor, controlling metaphor about the gardener and such. And desire also, if we study the Shastra, this is another way, by associating with the Shastra. Our advancement, especially in Vaidhi Bhakti, is dependent on our faith in Shastra. And Shastra is so amazing. And the great acharyas are so amazing in their writings that the mind becomes satisfied. And that's a part of cultivation. to read that, to associate with the great acharyas, and would develop a desire to hear more. Lavanya.
Guru Maharaj, a lot of times we get opportunity where I get invited to sit down and read with others, like maybe the Chaitanya Charitamrita or the Bhagavatam or a class. I do notice somehow that I find that sitting alone with the book sometimes feels more profitable to me because the time that I get and the focus that I have on the book is better. But then I'm missing out on the association and the additional information that you get from a group discussion. Should I aspire to sit in an association and read, sit in an association and japa? Or is it okay to sit with the books and do it yourself?
Follow your taste. And if you have a taste for something and you're really getting something out of it, then follow your taste. And your taste will probably change over time. And even in a day or a week's time, you may desire one thing one time. Yena tena prakarena Krishna mana naveshayat. One way or another, says, fix your mind on Krishna. And if you find yourself, really attracted to sitting down and reading a Bhagavatam, that you can't wait to get home or to finish your other things so you have more time, and even 1 minute makes a difference to you, this avyarta kalatva means that you're becoming stingy with your time so you can save it for your true love, which is the Bhagavatam. This is a good sign. And just follow your taste.
So when you're reading the scriptures, a lot of times it's very difficult to pronounce the Sanskrit texts. So I read with my daughter sometimes, and then we do only the translations because she has no patience. Even the translations, especially when it comes to the prayers and the descriptions, they become boring for her. I lose her halfway along. But I was wondering, am I losing something by not reading the Sanskrit? Because you always talk in the text, and then you come to the translation. How important is it that we imbibe that from the beginning? Or can it be something that we advance?
Well, we noticed it at Govardhan last year. We read the last 2 volumes of the Briyat Bhagavatamrita. And it was 4 hours a day of straight hearing. And we, for some time, we were reading the shlokas. But then we found that if we went to just the translations and the purports, we could concentrate even more. So different times, different ways. And if you're losing your audience, there's a way you start to lose your concentration also. When you're reading with other people and you notice that they're kind of going, they're getting bored or sleepy or whatever, you have to pick up the pace. There's a science to it. Keep their attention.
But then you also highlight that because you always teach us Sanskrit, you keep teaching us the verses.
Well, in a court of law, you have to bring out, it's proper to bring out the case and precedent and so forth. And Prabhupada always did it. It's a style of speaking that he would always say the shloka because it confirms it, it proves it. And there's power in the mantras also. But it doesn't mean that in the translations you're not also going to get that power. And especially if it leads to contiguous hearing without becoming distracted, then go for that. Especially if you're reading to your child and she's, becoming annoyed or something like that. Just read in such a way that your audience can appreciate. Yes.
Recently, even you in your lectures, I heard we are talking a lot about appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
So many times, when I see others, see devotees, there's a lot of appreciation, but it's probably in my heart, and I'm not expressing it. So what is the way to appreciate? Should I go and tell to that person, or is it in a group that I should
Wouldn't
share?
hurt. It doesn't hurt. If you hold it in your heart, you'll still get the benefit. But it's always nice to appreciate devotees. Because have you ever been appreciated by somebody who came up and said, by the way, I really noticed, or something like that? Did you?
Yeah, maybe.
How did it make you feel? Kind of crummy?
It feels nice.
Yeah. So just, there's a culture of devotee association. I noticed, in Mayapur just now, it was a very sweet environment. Devotee give a class, and immediately, everyone jumps up and runs to the Vyasana. It's they want a piece of that person, They just hang around him. It's can I be a little closer? Because there's this effulgence coming out, and that's part of the whole sangha. People appreciated Shukadev Goswami when he came in, and they just want to look at him, and what to speak. He starts talking. It's like he's going to talk. It's exciting. The devotional life is exciting when you're around pure devotees. People who really have the goods. It's exciting because you're going to get it, and especially if your heart's open and you're appreciating them. And that's the whole Bhagavatam. It's just one appreciation after another. That's what all the prayers are. They see Krishna and then they go on for 20 minutes, a half hour singing all these beautiful prayers. They're all appreciations. And if you appreciate devotees, we do the Vyasa Puja. You're just sitting there appreciating. It's like, I'm so happy. I'm so glad you're here. And that's our life. So appreciate away. There's no harm. We'd like to welcome you to ISKCON Silicon Valley.
Thank you.
Hare
It's such a
Krishna.
pleasure.
Are you passing through, or what is the... It's so nice to see you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, I heard a class several weeks ago. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj was giving a class in Ujjain temple, and one of the devotees asked him, Maharaj, is it possible to go back to Godhead in this lifetime? And Maharaj responded by asking him, why do you want to go back to Godhead? And the devotee responded, because I would like to serve Radha and Krishna. So Maharaj said, what are you doing here right now in the temple? He says, I'm serving the deities. And Maharaj said, so why do you want to go back? It's the same service, whether you serve here or back to Godhead. Why should you aspire for back to Godhead? So that was a very unique statement, which I'm still trying to digest, how to really look at that. And the more I think about it, it seems like it's not applicable to neophyte devotees like us, at least like me, but more for the Uttam Adhikaris. Would you like to comment on that?
Well, it's a nice answer, because there's a way that we actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes that we develop a dual citizenship. That is, when the creeper of devotional service grows, Mahaprabhu said it grows through all the coverings of the universe, and then it entwines itself around Krishna's lotus feet. And the gardener is living in this world and performing activities, but is living in the spiritual world. When I know I'm speaking on the high end right now, I'll get to a lower end, but there, Uddhava, when Vidura inquired from him, Uddhava was visibly affected when he asked him to speak about Krishna. And for a moment, he became oblivious to the world. And he displayed his other residence and citizenship in the spiritual world. Prabhupada talks about this in this third canto, how suddenly he realized that actually he was living in Goloka and in this world at the same time. And he had to bring himself back and then present. Archa worship really is training us to go back to Godhead. As Jananivas in Mayapur said, one of the benefits of being a pujari is you don't change your service. It's just, you transfer. We have to develop, an appreciation for where we are now and the service that we have now. If we become completely absorbed in that service, which is altogether possible, and which is our goal, then we can experience the spiritual world while we're still in this existence. At the same time, Prabhupada says in the light of the Bhagavat that during Chaturmasya people perform austerities and they stay in one place. And they don't realize the result of them until they leave that place. And they go out and say, oh, I'm different. I'm purified. I changed by doing this tapasya. So he says our life is a Chaturmasya-like existence. And we're performing devotional service. He said we won't realize the full result of it until we actually give up this body. And I'm sure Maharaj was giving that answer in a way to sort of stimulate, thought in a certain way. But there's no harm in desiring to go back to Godhead. But and I heard Prabhupada say the other day that if the pure devotee tells you that you can go back. In other words, says, I'll take you back to Godhead in one lifetime. Then he said, then Krishna's obligated to, even if everyone else says, hey, wait a minute, he didn't deserve that. It's like, too bad, You're not the one who got the benediction. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Param Sada Pashanti Surayoho Divavachakshatatam Tavipraso Vipanyavo Jankripam Saha Smindate Vishnu Yat Paramam Padam. The saints, the devotees, they walk in this world, but they're concentrated on going back to Krishna. And they pine for him. And while we're in this world, we should develop real attachment for the deity. There are devotees, you can see them, they have real attachment for the deity. They actually have a relationship with the deity. Their hair stands on end when they see the deity. They feel home when they see the deity. They don't want to go anywhere else. They want to be with the deity. I just saw when we were in Mayapur, we went over to Navadvip and we went to see Dhameshwara Mahaprabhu. He's so beautiful. And guess what? His hands are just like this. And he's standing there just, it's Vishnu Priya's deity of Mahaprabhu. And I when I went to have darshan, there was this Bengali woman who was standing right there, Jai Mahaprabhu, standing in front of him, offering some incense, and she was ululating. Can anybody do it? Go ahead. Really? Hey, pretty good. And I was standing right behind her, and when she was offering the incense, and she was doing that, and all of a sudden, I felt the same bhav coming from her, just sort of entered into me. I was stunned, just by proximity. And I was feeling how, there she is worshiping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's the hometown hero of Navadvip. And, we should develop attachment for the Dham, and get those feelings for the Dham. And actually, we can experience it. There's only a thin layer over the Dham. Because we have the association of advanced devotees, we can get that experience. It's altogether available to us. So we shouldn't neglect it or say, I'll never experience it or it's not for me, but we can. And of course, when one is fully absorbed and then leaves this body, Krishna says, Antakali smaram eva, Antakali chamam eva smaran muktva kalevaram yapriyati samadbhavam yatinash yatra shamshaya. Without a doubt, if you're fixed in that way, you go back to Godhead. I know there's more nuance to your question, but that's the best we can do for now. And now we've come to the end of our class. We talked about simplicity. We chanted a chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. We chanted some ecstatic bhajans. And we're happy to be back here in the western region of the earth after flying for 26 and a half hours. And it didn't even hurt. I'm happy to be here. And good to see you all. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripasindhabevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha gopremanande haribo. Now we'll put away all the Shastra deities and the asanas, and we will have an artik ceremony. Mukaravind, this is for you. And Damodar.
Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyarishatarine. Couple more certified kartalists, please. Jaya Jaya Gaura Chander Aroti Koshoba Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaura Chander Aroti Koshoba Janavi Tatavani Jagamanaluba Gaura Premanande Hey Jagajanamanaluba Jagajanamana Lobha Gaurangera Rotik Shobha Jagajanamana Lobha Gaurangera Rotiko Shobha Jagajanamana Lobha Jagajanamana Lobha. Oh! Jagajanamana Lobha Haribol, 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 inside go, Haribol. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 inside go, Haribol. Dake neni tai chan ba mega dadhara ni Kate Advaita Srini Vashtradara Bose Ache Gaurachan Ratna Singhasane Arati Torina Brahma Adi Devagane Nara Hari Hari Kori Chamara Dhulaya Hey Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Goshari Gaya Shankha Baje Kantha Baje Baje Karatala Hey Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasala Oh Madhur 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 Bhaje Oh Madhur 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 Bhaje Shankha Baje Kanta Baje Madhur 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 Baje Shankha Baje Kanta Baje Madhur 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 Baje Hey Madhur 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 Baje Madhur 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 Baje Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Tai Gaur Hari Bol Tai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Tai Gaur Hari Bol Bahu Koti Chandra Jine Vadana Ujwala This guest who just walked in. Bahu Koti Chandra Jine Vadana Ujwala Bahu Hey Gala Deshe Vanamala Kori Chalamala Shiva Shuka Narada Premi Gadagada Hey, Bhakti Vinoda Deke Gaurana Sampada Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, hey, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana. Oh, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana. Jaya Sachinandana, Gaura Hare. Jaya Sachinandana, Gaura Hare. Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, 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 Nitai Gauranga. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. Oh, Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. Jai Sachinandana, Gaura Hare. Jai Sachinandana, Gaura Hare. Nariya Gotruma Nityananda Mahajan, Nariya Gotruma Nityananda, Nariya Gotruma Nityananda Mahajan, Nariya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche Gaire, Nariya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche, Nariya Nagare Nitai Niche Niche Gaire. Oh, Nariya Nagari Nitai Niche Niche Gaire. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Oh, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Gaura, Gaura, Gaura Hare. Gaura, 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 Gaura. Oh, Gaura, 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 Gaura. Oh, Gaura, 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 Gaura. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. Oh, Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivadi Gacharya Deshto Tarishta Shishimad Bhai Charanada Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivadi Gacharya Deshto Tarishta Shishimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki. Ananta Godi Vaishnavini Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Sukaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasri Gop Bhakta Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopina Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki. Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki. Jamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Bring the Jamuna back to Vrindavan right now Ki. All glories to some devotees. All glories to some devotees. All glories to some devotees. Gope Manande Haribo. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada Dadayine. Hiranyakashipura Vakshaha. Silatanka Nakalaye. Ito Nishingha Parato Nishingho. Yato Yato Yami Tato Nishingha. Bahira Nishingo Ridaye Nishingo. Nrishingamaring Sharanam Prapadye. Nrishingamaring Sharanam Prapadye. Nrishingamaring Sharanam Prapadye. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. Namaste Jase Avirabir Bhava Vajranaka Vajradamshtra Karmashayan Randaya Tamo Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Admani Bhuyishta Om Shraum Vagisha Yasya Badane Lakshmir Yasya Chavakshasi Yasyaste Hridaye Sambit Tamna Shingam Maham Bhaje Prahlada Hridayaladam Bhaktya Vidya Vidaranam Shararindur Chimbande Parindra Varanam Harim Shri Nishinga Jai Nishinga Jai Nishinga Prahlad Desha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringa Ugrop Vayam Sabhaktanam Rakeshari Keshari Vasapotanam Anyesham Mukha Vikramaha Tavakara Kamala Varena Kamadhuta Shringa Dalita Iranya Kashi Bhutarubingam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare Tavakara Kamalava Nakamadhuta Shringa Dalita Iranyakashi Bhutarubinga Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ji ki, Shriman Mahaprabhu ki, Shri Shri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev ki, Shri Dameshwara Prabhu ki, Go Premanande, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Go Premanande. We'd like to thank our cooks for tonight, and it's Yashoda Kumar. I already looked. Yashoda Kumar and Nitya Navina have cooked today. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank whatever spiritual genius dressed the deities because they're so beautiful. Hare Krishna. I'd like to welcome back Shraddha Devi Dasi and Mukara Vind from the Holy Dham. Just flew all day long and then came right to the program. Hare Krishna. Welcome back all the other devotees coming back from the Holy Dham. Sanatan Sundaram, Gandharvika Puja, Ramananda Saka, Hare Krishna. Nirkula stayed at Nilesh's house in Bombay. There was a mix-up on flights. They all got canceled. It was Krishna's arrangement. And we had an otherworldly experience in the Holy Dham. We didn't know what to expect. But when we all assembled there in the Dham, we felt the softness of that Dham. And we had read about how if you just take rest all day, that Lord Chaitanya takes it that you're offering dandavats all day long. That's how merciful that Dham of Sri Mayapur is. And it's always flowing with the breezes of the Ganga, and there are the palm trees everywhere, and coconuts everywhere, and you can hear the holy name constantly entering to the holy Dham. When we had our first kirtan, we went to Srivasangam, and just on the way to the bus from our guest house, we could tell that something special was happening just from the kirtan. And entering into those places and performing kirtan there was a new life's experience. So we prayed at every place to have the strength to push on the Sankirtan movement, and that all the devotees would feel satisfied in their hearts and be able to overcome all obstacles. And I'm not going to go into any details, but I've already seen results. Some of the devotees told me they prayed to Lord Nrsingadev for certain things, and unbelievably, some things just immediately happened. That's that darshan of Lord Nrsingadev. He wears this garland of limes around his neck. Some of them are green, some of them are yellow. And they, Radha Madhava are 7 feet tall. And they make, she's 6'4", and Radharani is 5'10". But Panchatattva, they're over 7 feet tall. Prabhupada said that oversized is not very attractive, but that's what their sizes were. But the garlands from Panchatattva are so large. Puja brought us one day, and it goes all the way down to the ground, and they're this big. And imagine every day the devotees there are making garlands for all the Panchatattva, for all the Astasakis, for Radha Madhava, and the garlands are this big, with big, fancy flowers and everything like that. Count that up, that's 10, 15, at least 15 garlands a day, plus Prabhupada, and they're gigantic garlands. And that's how plentiful the Dham is. That everywhere you look, they're growing fields of flowers, and there's so many devotees engaged in service there in the Holy Dham. And I took a walk to the top of the TOVP, which is the new temple and Vedic planetarium. It's going to be the largest church building in the world, and it looks like it just from the inside. It's massive. And when you get up to the top, you have a view of all of Navadvip. You can see all the islands, you can see the Ganga, and it is according to the way Prabhupada had asked for it. And one remarkable thing, I know when in 1976 I was in Washington, D.C. during the bicentennial, and Prabhupada was there. He came there at that time. And we were distributing books in the airport, and on 4th of July, he said, I want to go down and see the downtown area, and I also want to see the fireworks. So we all followed Prabhupada downtown in a procession of cars. We got there, and he noticed all the different buildings, and one of them was the Capitol building. And he said, that's how we want the TOVP. That's how I want the big temple in Mayapur. And he said it many times. I want the dome just like that. So at long last, after trying all kinds of other designs, they said, let's just do it the way Prabhupada said. So they came up with the design, and they have these big domes that look like the Capitol building. And also, when I got inside, Bhavananda, who was showing me around, said that this is, Prabhupada asked for a chandelier. Now, if you see the size of the inside and how big the chandelier would have to be, it'll be the biggest chandelier in the world. And right now they're searching all over the world to try to find out some artisans who could actually make that big of a chandelier. And I asked him if they had checked with Home Depot. He said they hadn't. Jagarini could do it, yeah, no problem. So it's a miracle that it's happening. It's standing so high, it touches the sky. It makes Prabhupada's Samadhi look small now, and that used to be the biggest towering building anywhere that you could see on the skyline of Mayapur. In any case, that holy Dham is teeming with devotees who are chanting the holy names, and it is definitely the place of Mahaprabhu. When you go there, you can experience all the mercy of the great Vaishnavas like Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Jagannath Das Babaji, and all the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like Srivas Pandit. That is actually our home. That temple Prabhupada established, the Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir. We had temples around the world. He bought that property in Mayapur, which was a very hard thing to do, but he got it. And then he immediately established a little place there, and he put up a sign, even when it was just one little grass hut, and it said ISKCON World Headquarters. World Headquarters, because that is the world headquarters. That's what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati did. He established the Chaitanya Mat as the world headquarters for the Gaudiya Mat, even though the big temples and everything were in Calcutta and other places. But he said they're all satellites for the temple in Mayapur. And the idea is that it's a portal. Everyone comes back to that place, and from that one temple, actually, you can have a direct shot right back to Goloka Vrindavan. In fact, that's what it'll be. The Radha Madhava will be on the ground level of the temple, and then it goes up and up and up many floors, and on each floor it will show the progress of Gopakumar going through the different layers of the universe and the different higher planetary systems. And then beyond the coverings of the universe is the Brahma Jyoti, and beyond that are the Vaikuntha planets, and at the topmost planet is Goloka Vrindavan. So there's Goloka at the top and Gokula at the bottom, and they'll be exactly the same, because Goloka and Gokula are the same. There's no difference. And to get to Goloka, one must perform Sankirtan in Gokula. So that's what we're doing. And all the activities that we're doing out, the West, Prabhupada said once to my godbrother Pragosh, is for preaching or for sense gratification. Take your pick. So we're here for preaching, and because of that, we're connected to that place, the Sridham Mayapur, and we're bringing people back. And practically all they have to do is go there, and they feel the mercy. We saw in our party of about 30 devotees, was it, Shraddha, altogether? 30? There were several people who had never been to India before, what to speak of the Dham. And there were at least 2 devotees on our party who had never been to a temple, never met a Hare Krishna before. Or actually, they had met a Hare Krishna, but they had never been in an assembly of devotees before. That was Madhukari's mother, who came because he said, "Why don't you come with me to the Dham?" So she came, and in the beginning it was hard for her, and she struggled for a while, but at the end she was crying when she left the Dham. Tears came to her eyes as she was so moved by the experience. It's a rarefied atmosphere, and if you've never been around devotees and chanting in the Dham, then at first it can be a little rough, but somehow the Dham gets in you. And the other visitor was from Iran, who's Haleh. Haleh's already chanting her rounds and everything like that. I met her in Toronto about 5 years ago, and she became a devotee, and then she invited her sister from Iran. They were raised in a Muslim family, and anyway, I won't go into a lot of details, but she came and was just overwhelmed by the beauty and the power of the Dham, and every time we saw her, she was either dancing, smiling, and became very much attached to that Dham. So the ISV first exploration, beta, experiment, yatra has been a success. Haribol! In fact, let's go back right now. Yay! We're ready, except for the fact that we were experiencing some spiritual anxiety thinking about coming back and pleasing Srila Prabhupada by distributing books as much as possible. And I know I realized, and I'm sure the other devotees did too, that the reason we had access was, and any feeling for the Dham was because of the service that we're doing here. So this is the formula. Work hard to spread the Krishna consciousness movement. Go to the Dham, feel attached, and then think about the Dham all the time that you're distributing books and here. And Krishna will invite you back and back and back. And at the end, Eshe Brindaban Radhe Sham Pabe Darshan Gaura Kripa Hole He Gaura Kripa Hole He Gaura Kripa Hole He Gaura Kripa Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Boli Nachariyal Marman Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Boli Nachariyal Marman. So I know we have goals to meet for the Gaur Purnima. I saw some sets of books there, didn't I? These are Chaitanya Charitamritas we got from India, it looks like. So we have an everything must go policy. It's the most rare book on the planet, I guarantee you. Nobody has Chaitanya Charitamrita except for all the people who got them from us last year. And we want to spread the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu everywhere. So please emulate the mood of the Panchatattva, who broke open the storehouse, the love of God, like crazy people. Like they went mad, and they broke it open, and they took the contents and they distributed it to everybody, not caring who was a fit or unfit candidate. And the more they distributed, the more the contents increase. And I think that Srivas and Malini and Gita Priya will be back today or tomorrow. Next Monday. This is unbearable. And SKP is here somewhere. He's here. Okay, he's been busy. So we intend to get busy also. And also, he's texting you. Okay, tell us, SKP, what are we supposed to be doing? He'll tell us in a second. His brother Sri Ram Prabhu took us around South India. We went to Bangalore and Mangalore and Udupi, and I found out something very interesting, and that is there's huge scope for expansion of book distribution down there. Huge, unlimited scope for book distribution. So Sri Ram and Krishna Mitra Nitai Prabhu and I came up with a 7-point plan. I presented it to the BBT representative of India and also to Jayapataka Maharaj. I was desiring to have a talk with him, but it's hard to see him because, he's busy and his schedule is a little packed too because of his condition. And on the last day before I was leaving, I was lamenting, I need to talk to him. And then he invited me to lunch right before I was about to leave. So I thought, everything's magical in the Dham. And I was able to tell him my ideas and our ideas that Sri Ram had and so forth. So we may all have to make a traveling Sankirtan to South India also. We could do anything we want, right? We're free to engage in the Sankirtan movement and nobody's going to stop us. What does it say?
It says only 25 cc sets.
25 cc sets only.
And 2 weekends we have.
This is tiny. 25 cc sets, okay, so, and how much are they? 99 only? Okay, I'll take one. I'd like one set to start off.
Special something we tell everyone?
Yeah, it's normally 150, today 99 only. Tell SKP that I'll take one. SKP, I'm taking the set at CC's. So there's 24 to go. Everything must go. Distribute them to all your friends, family, and I don't know, maybe we'll set up a bookshelf in all the motels and put in CCs, something like that. Yes, Sanatan. So you were behind it.
and he was saying, he was talking to the Atlanta devotee also regarding this visit and the artifact. Then
Sikimihidi.
he was inviting me for the lunch. You were in the
Well, thank you for being instrumental. Hare Krishna. So now we're going to take prasadam. Any other orders from SKP?
I'm asking him to unmute his line, but I don't know.
Okay, asking him to unmute. Puja, where's the microphones?
So you were talking about, Prabhuji, how you went to South India and it was a big place to do book distribution. We had gone to Varanasi, Kashi, and we had a few books left in our bag, and we were distributing on our way to Ganga. And I gave it to one customers in a shop, and then I said, I have a gift for you, and I gave it to them. And the shopkeeper said, wait, I want one also. And then every place we gave a book, everybody said, well, you're giving it to him, I want one also. I said, but it's not in Hindi. So it's okay, I still want one. So everybody has a desire to have the book. So.
I just have one and one.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Is that SKP?
So tomorrow, Hari Sankirtan Prabhu and Puja Mataji, they're going to have their baby.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
It's
SKP. Okay, go ahead. Tell us what we got to do.
I'm very happy you are back, Prabhuji. So, we have a goal of 25 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets, and it's auspicious that one you already took, Prabhuji. So we have 24 more, and we also got Srimad Bhagavatam sets. The big sets are still available from India. So last weekend 2 sets gone, Prabhuji. So we have 4 sets available.
4 sets of Bhagavatams. The small ones?
Prabhuji. All small sets are gone for Nityanand Trayodasi. Only big sets are available.
Okay. We'll take them.
So one set is $220, Prabhuji.
Only?
Only.
Okay. $220 for the
And
Bhagavatams?
I also got news from India, Prabhuji, that Sri Ram Prabhu and Krishna Mitra Prabhu, they are already making goals for Gaur Purnima MSF.
Jai, Haribo. Thank you, SKP.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Anything else?
So, do we need to do, we can wish them for Hari Sankirtan Prabhu and Puja Mataji?
Do we know if it's a boy or a girl? It's a girl. May Hari Sankirtan and Puja's daughter be a great servant of the Vaishnavas, an enlightened soul whose heart is full of pure devotion to the Lord, a pleasure to her parents, successful in all aspects of her life. May she live long and delight the whole world with her pure bhakti. Go Premanande Haribo! What time will you deliver? When? 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. Okay, so everyone take time to do some extra mantras tomorrow to invite this new sage into the assembly of ISV. Hare Krishna. One more time. Go Premanande Haribo! Sharira Vijaja Jotendriya Tahika Jibe Pele Vishaya Sogore Tarma De Divayati Loba Moisu Durmati Take jeta katita shanshare Krishna Bodha Doyamoy kori bare jihajai Shaprasharanna dilobai Shayanamrita pao Radha Krishna gunagao Preme dako Shri Chaitanya Nita Ekadina Shanti Pure Prabhu Advaitera Kare Tui Prabhu Bojane Bosilo Shakori Aswadana Prabhu Bole Bhakta Gana Esha Krishna Ashwadilo Heno Shakashwadane Krishna Prema Aise Mane Se Preme Koro Ashwadan Jada Buddhi Parihari Prasara Bhojana Kori Hare Hare Bolo Sarvajan Hare Hare Bolo Sarvajan Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Sapa Punyavatam Rajan Vishwaso Navajaya Prasade Sarvadukanam Hanirasyo Pajayate Prasana Chetaso Yashu Buddhipaya Vatishtate Bhagavat Shri Mahaprasade Ki Jai Go Premanande Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Please come take prasadam. Hari Bol. Yes. Mahaprasada from New Dwarka Ki Jai. We're in luck. Wow, it's beautiful. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Look at this. Halava from Rukmini Dwarkadish. So we'll distribute this right away. Hare Krishna. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. And thank you for coming to visit. We're so happy to have you here. Hare Krishna. Welcome. Shailesh, would you introduce yourself? So all the devotees know. Can I have the microphone quick?
Hare Krishna. Okay. My name is Sachi Dulaldas. Hare Krishna. It's okay. And my wife Nandini Radha, and we're just from living in Los Angeles, and we do a little bit of seva for Rukmini Dwarkadish on Sundays, and Nandini Radha has a business here for a few days, so we were passing along, and she was very inspiring to come and take darshan today. I was telling her, let's just go Saturday, but she says, no, I want to. She was adamant about coming today, so we're so happy to be here. And when we walked in here, I saw Vaisesika Prabhu, and my heart melted. I said, wow, such a pure soul. So, and we're just very fortunate to have association of the devotees. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for the first time here?
My name is Radhakrishnan. I'm a colleague and friend of Bhagwan. We are from Chicago and we come here every week. And he said, why don't you come today? So I just joined.
Our favorite city, Chicago. Anybody else? Okay, please take the shot.
There's a Santa Cruz Express, 17 Express. For UPSC, it's only $5. Non-stop in 30 minutes. She comes. Sometimes some buses stop in Scotts Valley, but otherwise